Well, let's talk now to the UKIP party chairman, Steve Crowther. Hello, Mr. Crowther.
Morning, Victoria.
You want Nigel Farage to stay on as leader. A number of others don't.
A few.
A few. It's the same, isn't it? How do you find yourself in this position?
Oh, I think it's fairly straightforward. Before the election, Nigel answered a question, and he said that if he was not elected to Parliament, he would resign. And I think it's important to understand the context of that. There was an expectation, we had a hope that we would have a parcel of a group of MPs elected in this election. As you know, despite 3.9 million votes, we have one MP. So Nigel, I think at that stage, felt that were he not one of them, it would clearly make sense that one of them would have the opportunity to be the leader of the party, because the centre of gravity would have moved into Westminster from where it is today. I think with one MP, and Douglas Carswell has said he doesn't want to be the leader of the party.
He has, but he's also, I'm just reading right now, he's been asked about backing Nigel Farage. He will not publicly back Nigel Farage.
Well, I don't know exactly what he said, but he has been very supportive of Nigel in the past, so you know, I don't know what that means.
OK. This is what Douglas Carswell has just said in the last couple of minutes. He's called on the UKIP... sorry, without mentioning names, the UKIP leader... No, sorry, I'm going to get the quote right in a moment. Douglas Carswell has not publicly backed Nigel Farage. Full stop. He's been asked to publicly, and he hasn't. OK,
well, that's up to him.
Well, he's your MP. Your one and only.
Indeed. And this
so
is
it's
something...
quite significant if you won't back the leader.
Well, indeed, it is something that Nigel and Douglas, I'm sure, will be discussing over the next few hours. But the important thing is that the party absolutely 100% backs Nigel.
Well, they don't. There's your MP.
Well,
he won't publicly back him.
Well, that's something that he will have to explain.
Right. So he said...
I represent the voluntary party. I am the chairman of the party and the chairman of the National Executive, and there is absolutely no doubt that when Nigel came forward, as he had committed, he came forward on Monday and said, right, here we are, here is my resignation. And the National Executive Committee said, look, we understand why you made that commitment, and we understand the circumstances under which you made it. The circumstances now are different. And indeed, one of the key differences was that on Monday, it was already clear that the European referendum campaign was underway. There was significant news coming out regarding the European asylum policy and regarding the prospects for renegotiation of our relationship with the European Union, which meant that clearly the European referendum campaign has already started.
And there's no one else in UKIP who would be able to get involved in that?
Well, of course there are people who get involved in it. There'll be lots of people getting involved in it. And indeed, you know, you've been interviewing lots of our key people over the last few days. But the point is that Nigel is absolutely the most expert and qualified man to lead that fight. He created the opposition, if you like, in the European Parliament. He's raised this issue over many years.
Indeed,
He's brought it to the front.
But if you're looking to the future now, you've already got those nearly 4 million people who voted for you last week, many of whom will want to vote out in an in-out referendum.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So isn't this actually an argument, a discussion about the future of the party and how you attract others, not just the core voters, but others?
Yeah.
So you need to broaden your policy spectrum.
Yes, absolutely. Well, in a sense, I mean, this last general election, we had, by any objective measure, an extremely broad and popular manifesto. I mean, you know, when one of the polling organisations did blind testing of our policies, our health policy was the most popular and our education the second most popular from people that didn't know who they were voting for. So we have a very broad platform of policy, but this is now about our core issue. It is about the European Union and our future in it or outside it. And, you know, this is something that Nigel's been fighting for so many years, and he is the expert, he's the acknowledged expert, and the person that, as we've seen, again, increasingly over the last few days, the public recognise as the person they want to follow.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Crowther, who is the chairman of UKIP.